Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is my night walks talks. Tonight I want to talk about A.M.O conference, and I want to talk about their following video of A.M conference with Kareem Abu Zaid and Uthman ibn Farouk and Daniel Haqiqatjou. One of the reasons why I want to talk about this, because in their follow-up video of A.M.O conference, them bringing back Daniel by Kareem Abu Zaid, it lets us know who are the organizers or the originators of A.M.O conference, and let us know what is the agenda of theirs. By me seeing Daniel return in their follow-up video and Kareem Abu Zaid explaining and speaking with Daniel about the purpose of their conference and A.M.O conference, and doing some PR related to Daniel's own internet platform, and some of the people, or from some of those from the Muslims who are speaking and talking about Daniel's political beliefs and agenda. So it shows that they're listening to people who are speaking about Daniel, that number one, he is not Salafi. Number two, he is not a scholar. Definitely not a student of knowledge, which means definitely he's not a scholar in Islam. And why is A.M conference pushing him? The follow-up video let us know that A.M conference agenda is being very clear, making clear that they are trying to push Daniel to the Salafis. And this is why, out of all the different speakers that they had at the A.M conference, which includes Sheikh Dr. Bilal Phillips, which include Sheikh Abu Usama Dhahabi, and some other personalities that I can say they are Tulabu, and that they are, at least two of them are considered to be a sheikh or from the shuyukh, and that's Sheikh Dr. Bilal Phillips. So the follow-up video of A.M conference, why will you bring Daniel? That brings some question. All of the people to bring back for the follow-up of the conference, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Why do you bring back Daniel? Why you don't bring back one of the scholars that were actually there? Because the whole point of A.M conference or A.M conference was to introduce to the Salafi community a philosopher by the name of Daniel Haqiqatjou, who really don't belong there. And it's going to end up biting them. It's going to end up stinging them in the long term. And who do they bring to discuss the matter of Daniel? Is they bring Uthman ibn Farouk. And I'm not going to give him the title Sheikh, because Uthman ibn Farouk, with his position with Daniel, who was a philosopher, who have his PhD from Harvard, who's not a student of knowledge, not a sheikh, and his political agenda with the being far right, a sympathizer with white supremacists, and he's not a scholar in Islam. Neither is he a student of knowledge. Why are they pushing this philosopher to the Salafi Muslims? We don't need Daniel to know about feminists. Many shuyukh wrote books about the feminist movement. Many scholars wrote books on this. So it goes back to they're trying to play games with their audience. See, I want to bring an example of real scholars. I'm gonna mention two big scholars, right? And the audience of their audience that was learning from them. First, I'm gonna bring up Sheikh Saleh Uthaymeen rahimahullah, right? And then I'm gonna bring you the example of Sheikh Nasir Din Al-Albani rahimahullah. If you look at many of the lectures of Sheikh Uthaymeen rahimahullah, that majority of the people, the pupil, sitting in the audience were from the layman Muslim and Tulab al-Ilm, right? So Sheikh Uthaymeen rahimahullah in the Kingdom of Saudi, he dealt with a variety of different people, and their level of understanding the religion was on all different levels. But a lot of them you can see was the layman Muslim. And due to the position he had and the position of Saudi, he had a larger crowd. Due to his responsibility was a large amount of the Muslims from Saudi, right? So he dealt with a lot of the layman Muslim. That was a lot of his audience. And then some shuyukh. And Sheikh Uthaymeen rahimahullah made shuyukh, right? He made shuyukh. And that's what most scholars does. They make shuyukh. They educate the people to be shuyukh, and they educate shuyukh, all right? Now, Sheikh Nasir Din Al-Albani rahimahullah, if you look at his audience, when you listen to his lectures, right? Majority of Sheikh Nasir Din Al-Albani rahimahullah audience, from listening to his lectures, the people who are actually in the lecture, or the people who are talking to them, they were majority shuyukh. There were people who were already shuyukh who was furthering their own, right? For some of the students of Sheikh Nasir Din Al-Albani, you will find them to be a doctor, right? Like Sheikh Rabi al-Mahkhali, right? Hafidullah, he's one of the students of Sheikh Al-Albani also. He is doctor. Some of the shuyukh from Jordan, where Sheikh Al-Albani resided before he died, there also was doctor. So you can find the caliber of the audience, or meaning the students of Al-Albani, were high caliber scholars, right? So I gave you a clear example about the audience of the people who are listening, following, right? Sheikh Uthaymeen rahimahullah, he made shuyukh, but the majority of the people you listen to him due to the sheikh position, due to his position in Saudi, and due to his level of knowledge, what Allah had blessed him with, he had a larger audience, and he dealt with a lot of the layman Muslim issues. And he also made shuyukh, and also some of the people who learned from him were also shuyukh. But Sheikh Al-Albani, rahimahullah, majority of those in the audience, if you listen to the recordings of Al-Albani, asking him questions, talking with the sheikh, eating with him, talking with him joking with them, they were shuyukh. They were not layman Muslims, they were shuyukh. And so you can see the topics that they talked about were not layman topics, right? They were not layman topics. We hear people talk to Sheikh Saleh Uthaymeen sometimes, and some of the fatwa, sometimes you could tell they're from the layman Muslim. Sometimes you could tell if they are from Tulab al-Ilm, or if they are from beginners in Tulab al-Ilm, or they are from shuyukh themselves, right? So we can understand there's a level of the audience. The audience have a level. AIM Ilm Conference audience level are layman Muslim. They are not Muslims who have understanding of the Qawaid al-Islam. They're not people who have an understanding of the Qawaid al-Islam. They are not people who have understanding of the Qawaid of Islam. They are the layman Muslims. All right? So what that means, they are layman Muslims. That means that there are people who don't know and don't understand the legislation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There means that they're not people who are familiarized with Kitab and Sunnah. That means that there are people who are not familiarized with the Arabic language. That means that there are people who are not familiarized with fiqh, wa usulu fiqh. And you could tell that by the questions that were asked in an AIM conference. Like the person who asked, how did Allah يعني خلق القلم قبل كون؟ هذا واحد السؤال. That's one question that was asked. How did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the pen before he created all that exists al-Khon? Right? Somebody asked that question in AIM conference. And that shows the level of the audience there were layman Muslims, who some of them are jahil of Islam, jahil of Aqidah, jahil of fiqh. They are ignorant. They're not like the audience that you can see when Sheikh Nasir Din al-Albani, when you listen to his audios and lectures, that the people who are talking and engaging with the Sheikh, they are shuyukh. Right? So we can know that AIM conference, that the audience are what? Ignorant. They are the layman Muslim who don't know the difference between fiqh and usulu fiqh. Who don't know the difference between al-fiqh wa sharia. Who don't know the difference between al-tafsir, that's irab al-Quran, and tafsir, that is asbab. They don't know the difference between tafsir, that is about al-irab of the Quran, the grammatical way how the Quran is written, grammatically. Or the tafsir, that is what? Asbab. Why Allah send down this particular ayat? They're layman Muslim. They don't know nothing about the deen too much. For example, Abu Usama Dahabi, he said that the Salafis in this conference, they don't study Quran enough. I swear by Allah that he even made a mistake when he made this example. He said they don't know the difference between Noon and Sakin. He said this, right? And I'm thinking, no, it's Noon and Sakina. Noon and Sakina. Because the letter Noon in Arabic, it is mu'annith. It is feminine. So it's Noon and Sakina. Correct. So they can't even pick up small mistakes like this. And that's for those who like to criticize me. Even the people that you're following even have mistakes in Arabic language. So they are the layman Muslims. Why are they introducing to layman Muslims who don't know al-Qawar al-Din? ليس عندهم أساس في دين. ليس عندهم الأصول في دين. They don't have the fundamentals of the religion of Islam. So why are you introducing to Salafis somebody who is a philosopher, who has no foundation in learning Islam? See, they try to make the follow-up video. The follow-up video was not for people who have Ilm. That follow-up video for AIM Ilm conference is for the layman Muslims who follow them, who don't understand the religion of Islam, who are not tulab al-ilm, who are not shuyukh. They are ignorant Muslims who don't know. And this is why Uthman ibn Furuq can make a statement, well, related to the Salaf and people mistakes and errors. I didn't see from Sirah Ashab wa Tabi'een, I didn't see from their Sirah where they pushed in front of the people to learn somebody who was a philosopher, al-ilm al-kalam. We know what happened. How did al-farqiyya start in Islam? Because in A.M.O conference, they kept on talking about, when Daniel was speaking about what his creed is, a creed of Akhbari, he said he is not Jahmiya and Mu'tazila. Well, how did the people who are Jahmiya and Mu'tazila became off the correct path? How did the Muslims break up into groups and sects? Is because of philosophy. Ilm Kalam, philosophy. See, so when A.M conference is talking, see, they know they're talking to Muslims who are ignorant of the religion of Islam, who are not tulab al-ilm. So they could get away with saying these things, but somebody who know can listen to their statement and say, hey, that's ball to what you say. Uthman ibn Furuq, when you talked about al-ilm fi al-jarh wa ta'dil, when you talk about al-ilm fi al-jarh wa ta'dil, yani this is something that's over the head of most of all the people in conference. This is even probably over your head. See, and a lot of how the Muslims get fooled, the layman Muslim get fooled today because they don't have the asas of the religion, but they see a person like Uthman ibn Furuq, when he speak, he has in back of him al-Maktaba Islamiyya fi Arabi. He has in back of him Islamic books, and this gives the impression that he's a sheikh in the religion of Islam. See, I don't allow them things to fool me, because Uthman ibn Furuq show me from the Salaf al-Salih who allow the philosopher to educate the Muslims. And this is how you know that the followers of that conference were people who were jahil. The Muslims who don't know the difference between yani they don't know the difference between fiqh wa usulu fiqh. These are people who don't know the difference between at-tajweed wa nahu. And these are people who don't know the difference or the similarities between at-tajweed and nahu. I can say that also. They're laymen, Muslims, and they can say they're laymen and don't know. So these brothers feel, they know that they can say whatever they want to say. And because the people who don't know, they can't say what is right or what is wrong. They don't know what is right and what is wrong. They don't understand the usul of the religion. So when they say things like Uthman ibn Furuq, I'm not going to call you sheikh, because you don't have the experience of a true sheikh. Because a true sheikh, ala minhaj salafiyya, he's not going to promote to the Muslims who don't know. He's not going to promote to them a philosopher. He's not going to be promoting philosopher. I can never believe, I've been on Salafi Dawah since early 2000. I never thought I see in the 100 years in America that the Salafis are promoting a philosopher because he has a PhD from Harvard to teach religion. When you have a religious conference called Ilm Conference, and you say it's based on authentic Islam, and you bring the philosopher, Daniel has no studies of Islam under his belt. He's a Tulabul Ilm. He's a Talabul Ilm. He's a student of knowledge. What field? What field did he study? It is upon every student of knowledge. If somebody asks you, who are your teachers and what you study? Yambagi Alek is obliged upon you to let the peoples know so people can understand what is your level. Till this day, they haven't explained who is Daniel teachers and what he studied. See, Kareem Abu Zaid, everybody, you could fool some of the people some of the times, but you can't fool all the people all the time. You can fool some of the people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the time. You can't fool me, man. And Kareem Abu Zayd, billahi, by Allah, your minhaj is very similar to the minhaj of Abu Ishaq Khawaini. You have the same minhaj, this wiggy-washy minhaj of some of the Salafis in Egypt. Some of the Salafis in Egypt, they have this wiggy-washy minhaj issues. And if I was to criticize some of the Salafis in Egypt, is the ones who have this minhaj issue is not clear. They play around with the Muslims. They don't teach them deen haqiqan. They say things that get the iman to feel high and boost just for the moment, but they don't teach them nothing from the Qawwad of Islam. This is what you see in Egypt before the Arab Springs. For some of the Salafis who in Egypt was very famous on TV. They say things that get your iman to grow for that moment and second while you're listening. But by time whatever's being said, when it's over, they didn't learn anything about the deen. They didn't learn anything about the usul of the religion. You have some of this from some of the Salafis in Egypt, like Abu Ishaq Khawaini and them. I'm not going to say all the Salafi Mashaykh in Egypt are like this, because I learned deen in Egypt. I learned deen in Egypt. And not with what we say, people say the Mekhali. I learned from Ansar Sunnah Muhammadiyah. And we know Ansar Sunnah Muhammadiyah has affiliation with the peoples I have mentioned. But when I go to their Mashaykh, who study deen, who's doctor, and etc., when you sit with them, they teach you the usul of the deen. And this is what I'm going to say for Kareem Abu Zayd. Why don't you introduce to the Salafis and B.A.M.O conference some of the Egyptian Mashaykh that you study with right here in America that sign your degree? I believe you have a degree from one of them Islamic universities from Minnesota, I believe. Why you don't introduce some of the Egyptian Mashaykh who live in Egypt, who live in America from Egypt, who are teachers and educators, who are doctor, who are rasikh fi, who are steadfast in the religion, who are steadfast in knowledge, who have deep knowledge? Why are you not introducing the Salafis to them? You're learning from them. Why are you not introducing the Salafis to them? Why are you not bringing these particular Egyptian Mashaykh who have Islamic universities right here in America, who are educating people to be Tulabu al? Why are you not introducing the Salafis to these individual Mashaykh? Well, you're going to bring the philosopher, Daniel Haqiqatjou, who got his PhD in philosophy. That means that you got a hidden agenda. See, you got a hidden agenda. You got a hidden agenda. I know Egyptians real good, man. I tell people all the time, Egyptian people, I know two type of peoples. I know Black Americans and I know Egyptians. I lived in Egypt for a time and I've been married to Egyptians for 11 years. And I study majority of what I know about from the deen from Egyptians, Mashaykh. So I understand the mentality of Egyptians. And I know when the Egyptian, they playing these games. And Karim Abu Zayd, you're playing games, you're playing with fire. You won't introduce those Egyptian Mashaykh who are doctors, Dr. Fidin, who are right here in America, who signed your Islamic degree, who are teaching consistently right here in America. You don't bring them to your conference, but you bring the philosopher who has no knowledge. He's a layman Muslim. Daniel Haqiqatjou is a layman Muslim. You bring the philosopher who also have sympathy for the far right. Because you guys want to be the oppositions against the Yaqeen Institute. So you bring Daniel, who's promoting far right politics. You're bringing somebody who has with him far right politics. And then you're trying to make it deen. These far right politics, this is part of deen. Wallah, you guys are going to get burnt with fire. You're talking about the liberal Muslims. You're talking about ISNA and ICNA and Yaqeen Institute. You guys are playing with fire because you got Daniel pushing that far right politics with him. It's all over his social media. You guys are playing with fire. And you're trying to you talking about the liberals, Muslims, and try to push this stuff as Islamic agenda. And you got Daniel pushing the far right and saying that this is Islam. And you're bringing him to the Muslims who don't know. Then you're claiming to attach yourself to the minhaj of the Salaf. And you bring in the philosopher. You guys are playing with fire. And that's why Uthman ibn Farouk, you don't get the title Sheikh. You don't earn that title Sheikh because you don't have experience. Especially when you say it's not important the points that people are brought up about him. Since when the Talibul Ilm don't do research? Since when the Talibul Ilm, he does blind following? Since when the student of knowledge, he compromised? And you know deep down inside Uthman ibn Farouk, that somebody who know you told me personally that you find Daniel problematic. You know, the Muslim community is a very small community, especially with the converts. Especially with the converts. Small community. Uthman ibn Farouk is a very small community. The Muslim community is very small. Trust me, I know somebody that know you, or I know somebodies who know you. Trust me, just like you guys knew somebody who used to be with Yaqeen Institute. Trust me, I know somebody who knows you guys. It's a very small world. You guys are going to get burnt with this. You guys are going to get burnt. And when you're trying to juck and jive and bring this guy to the Muslims, introduce him now to the Salafi, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect Salafis from people like you. I ask Allah to protect the Muslims from people like you. If you feel that Yaqeen Institute is introducing liberalism to the Muslims, well, you guys are introducing to the Muslim All far-right politics, all of it is in the fire. All of it is in the fire. Daniel Haqiqatjou website is clear what he's upon. His videos is clear. He not upon Kitab and Sunnah. Even the people he claim he debates, he don't bring no Quran. He don't bring no authentic hadith. I don't hear him bringing no ayats in Quran. I don't hear him inviting none of these people with Kitab and Sunnah to Islam. None of them. None of them. I had to mute it for a while. Some music and stuff. I don't want to get a copyright strike on my YouTube channel with this video. I ask Allah to protect the Muslim from these type of individuals. See, when you don't seek Ilm and you rely on YouTubers who are looking for the algorithm to get views, and wherever the algorithm goes, it goes to the far right, they go there right along with them. And you're learning your religion from people like this on YouTube, you're going to end up in the Jahannam. You're going to end up misguided. And you're going to misguide others. If you guys are saying with Ilm Conference, the Yaqeen Institute, and those other Islamic organizations that invite the liberalism, all this, that they're misguiding the Muslims, you're misguiding the Muslims also. Because you're introducing to the Muslim, Daniel was pushing far-right politics. The first thing you brothers and sisters need to start asking them, Karim Abu Zayd, Uthman ibn Farouk, and Daniel, make it public to the peoples, everybody Daniel studied with, some taskiyah. A taskiyah fi Islam, aham jaddan. A taskiyah, it's very important. A taskiyah here, aham jaddan. Aham jaddan. Very, very important, a taskiyah. A taskiyah lets you know what the person studied, what is his caliber, meaning what is his level. A taskiyah here, aham. It's a very important thing, taskiyah. Why do you think scholars work in the past with ijazah, with taskiyah? Bring something, bring some taskiyah for Daniel. Bring some sheikh, some alim that he studied deen with. Let him bring it to the public. Who he's studying, what he studied with. Ain't no student of knowledge should be ashamed to hide who he studied with. As Sheikh Saleh Uthaymeen. No. Sheikh Saleh Al-Fawzan, Hafidhullah, he has said, somebody asked the Sheikh, Ma farq baina alim wa muta'alim. He asked, what is the difference? Somebody asked the Sheikh, what is the difference between the alim, the scholar, and the muta'alim, the fake Sheikh, the fraudulent Muslim who claims to have Islamic knowledge? The Sheikh said the alim, he's known. Who he studied with, who are his teachers. He said the muta'alim, he hides it. He hides who he studied with because he haven't studied with anybody, no. He hides it. He said the one that his knowledge is hidden, who he studied with, he said he is like the laqid. The laqid is the child or the boy. No one knows who his father is. Some consider it fiqh, the lost child. The child that is lost, you don't know who the parents are, the blood parents. He says, like a laqit, the person who claimed to be a scholar, but don't know, it's not clear who he studied with. This is Daniel. This is Daniel Billahi. This is Daniel Haqiqatjou. I have a book coming out, inshallah, by Sheikh Salih Fawzan, Hafidullah. I finished majority of the editing. You can find this book is going to be on Amazon. If you look up my name as it's spelled here, Abul Bara Muhammad Amriki, you can find some of my already book that is there, my book that's already there. But I'm going to plan to publish the book soon. I'm just in school, but the book is about the etiquettes of the student of knowledge, the adab, what the student knowledge studies, and I make an additional second part of the book, all the writings and sayings that I found from Sheikh Saleh Al Fawzan, Hafidullah, on the fake scholar. Who are they? The attributes of the fake scholar. At-ta'alam wa muta'allimin, or ta'alam wa muta'allim. Those who have fraudulent teachings, and the individuals who present themselves to be knowledgeable of the deen, and they're not. And what are their attributes? Inshallah, I'm gonna have this published, inshallah, soon. I've been sitting on the book. I did some of the editing. I already finished the second part. And I want to put another bonus in the book, inshallah. But when it's ready, it's gonna be on Amazon. Billahi, 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 by Allah. You know, it's upon every Muslim to seek knowledge the proper way from its proper peoples. It's binding for every Muslim to seek knowledge, but from its proper peoples. Not people who are muta'alim, fake sheikh, wannabes, falsely educated. I have, matter of fact, I already have many articles on this. If you go to Islam's finest.space, you can find my articles in the categories. All you gotta do is click on the category that says Sheikh Saleh Al Fawzan Hafidullah. You're gonna find all the things that are translated from the Sheikh that speaks about the attributes of those who are falsely educated. The milkshake, the charlatan. And this is Ilm Conference. These are the moves of the muta'allimin, the thing that Karim Abu Zayd is doing. And Uthman ibn Farouk, the things they're doing with promoting Daniel, ta'alim. They are the muta'allimin. I see who they are now. And they know that their audience are not ulama, not scholars. They can say whatever they want, and none of them going to question them. Matter of fact, the follow-up video they have for the B.A.M.O conference was for the layman Muslims who hearing other people saying out there, Daniel got issues while you're promoting him. They're trying to do a PR stunt for Daniel. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Daniel have years of writings on his website and on his social media. It's very clear who he is. Very clear. I'm out, inshallah. Inshallah. Click like and share. And if you want to subscribe, please subscribe. Because I'm going to finish this book. Maybe by this weekend, I'm gonna try to do some more extra work. I have a lot of schoolwork in front of me, but majority of the book is already finished. I'm just doing small little editings here and there. I'm gonna have to do one more editing, and then inshallah, I'm gonna push the book on Amazon. Amazon. If you go on Amazon, if you got an Amazon account, and you click on my name as an author, because if you click, maybe one of my books pop up, but it asks you to follow the author. You click follow, so when the book comes up, you'll be able to get it, inshallah. Well, if the book come up, you'll be able to get it, inshallah. You know, every update for any new publish I print or push out, you will get it like Amazon will let you know that the book is there, inshallah. So I'm out. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Wa shallam ant. Wa astaghfirullah wa tubu ilayk.